What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode we are going to coat the underside of the back end with POR 15, and then we are going to reinstall the back end on the iron 6, and then we're finally, after over a year, going to drop her down on her feet. So let's jump into it. Alright guys, I think we're ready to coat the underside of this with POR 15. All the welding is complete for the other underside. Finally have the quarter panel installs wrapped up, and I went around and ground up all of the welds on the areas that needed it. And what I want to do is get out to the inner parts of the quarter panels coated in POR 15. I'm not going to do the wheel wells yet because there's still some work to be done in there, but I want to get a good bit of this undercoated so that I can reinstall the back end and we can drop it down. So I'm hoping that my POR 15 is still good. A little bit of a dry. It's like it almost sealed itself because I can hear it in there. It's still a liquid in there, but this top part. Kind of wearing long sleeves and covering up as much as my skin as possible, because if any of you have worked with POR 15, you know that it's it doesn't come off whenever you get it on you. It's on for like a week or two. So get this dried section up without making a giant mess. We got a little hole, that'll work. Alright, I'm back. I did not record nearly as much of the painting on of the POR 15 as I wanted to, but it was really tight under there and it just got to be kind of a mess and I just stopped recording. So, but here is what it looks like now. I'm going to be honest with you guys, this is only one coat and it's only getting one coat because I don't want to do that again. I believe it does recommend 2 coats, but what I did do was I put one really good coat on, and then I came back out the next night and just went around and inspected anything, and any areas that look thin, I put on a second coat, but I did not put a full second coat on. It was just, I don't know, I didn't do it. I didn't feel like doing it. So with that done, it's finally time to reinstall the back end. So without further ado, that's what we're gonna do. Well, that was short-lived. It is now the next day. Basically, I got about, let me show you. That far, can you guys see that? That far into pounding in the bolt and realized I forgot the washer, which that wasn't too bad. Well, then I went to the packaging and realized that the washer was not included with the bolt and nut, which, needless to say, upset me just a little bit. So I called it quits on the night, and I managed to find some washers. I looked through my stuff of miscellaneous stuff, didn't have anything. Anyway, I now have washers, but keep that in mind. If you buy new leaf spring bolts, I bought them from CJ Pony Parts. They don't include the washer, which it would be helpful if they did. Anyway, we're back at it. Gonna get this thing installed, but now I have to get that bolt out, which most of you probably know that that's not a fun task at all. And I have the rear end sitting there, which I'm trying to work around because I don't want to move it. So I'm hoping that, oh man, I might, oh, this might work out nicely. Oh man, that was just a stupid idea. It's not gonna work. I'll be back. All right, so here's the ticket for this job. Just twisting it and pulling, and it's slowly coming out. Obviously, this will not work if you're removing a bolt that's been in there for a long time. This is literally only for a freshly installed bolt. There we go. Get a washer installed. And we are back on the job. All right, we're golden now. And we are good. But when a plan comes together, even if it's a last minute plan that involves a lot of nonsense. Putting some grease on these to hammer them into the frame. Actually, with the grease, they slide in pretty easily, so. Okay, I think we're ready to get her on our wheels. I think what I'm going to do is jack up the back end, slide out the wood, and then get the dollies underneath the wheels. And I'll finally be able to move this thing around the garage. Alright guys, I'm ready to drop it down slowly and hope that nothing explodes up. Something still doesn't look right to me. This back end looks jacked up really high. All right, I'm back. Took a minute to panic because I dropped the car back down on all the wheels, and as you can see, the back end looks like it's sitting pretty high, and naturally I assumed, did I screw something up with the geometry whenever I did all that work? I don't know enough about this stuff to really come to a conclusion, so called Harvey Redmond with AKA Rally Cat Garage on YouTube, and You know, he had some suggestions. I have to, one, it could just be the fact that these springs have been off the car for so long that they got some memory back, but I tightened all the suspension down in the back before any weight was on the tires, so I'm gonna loosen up some of that and put some weight in the back of the car and see if I can't get it to drop down a little more. He thinks things will settle over time, so I'm gonna do that and we'll see if it changes anything here. But it is good to see it back on all four wheels, I'll say that. Just freaked out a bit whenever I saw how high that back end is sitting, because it is high. So let's hope it's nothing major. Okay, things are much gooder thanks to the advice of Harvey Redmond. I'll show you exactly what was going on with the back end, but just take a look at it. She's now sitting where she should be, about where she should be. So why don't we do a super fast zoom around in celebration. Okay, so Harvey was right. The mistake I made was I tightened down the leaf spring bolts while the rear end was just hanging from the back of the car. And when I did that, these shackles were actually straight up and down. And I went around, I loosened everything, I popped the trunk lid. Also, I have some weight in here too right now, helping it settle. But I popped the trunk lid, hopped in the car, and just started bouncing up and down on it. And the thing immediately dropped. I think it was 2 inches at least. And he said, go ahead, put weight in the back of the car, leave everything loose and just let it settle for a couple days, which is what I'm doing. But I can tell you, even without this weight in the back, where it sits is much closer to normal. So things should be okay. I'm no longer concerned about it. So that is a huge win. I am incredibly excited. In fact, I was so excited, I was thinking about this. It's Memorial Day weekend, and CJ Pony Parts had a big sale going on, and you guys know now that I really want to get this thing back on the road sooner rather than later. So I actually went ahead and ordered 2 new fenders. So I will eventually use these for a car, but these are going to come off because this is where most of the work is going to be, as far as body work goes, is these fenders. And I mean, the price, I got 2 new fenders and they have good reviews. They were $107 a piece. And I also ordered a new valance, rear valance, because the thing was like $39. So the majority of the body filler work that I'm going to be doing on this thing is going to be the 2 doors, obviously this area, and then there's some minor dents in the roof. But guys, those 2 fenders are really going to help streamline things. So yeah, I'm excited. I just feel so much better. It's been a long couple months, and this is definitely cause for celebration. So with all that in mind, you guys know that I would not be as far as I am on this project if it weren't for so many of you that constantly give me great advice and feedback in the comments. I read everything and I don't always respond, but things have been busy. But man, we just hit another gear. So I'm excited. I'm completely rejuvenated, and yeah, I'm ready to just keep going on it. So what I'm going to be doing next, because my second most popular video was my air gun and compressor setup, and I've yet to do a follow-up to that and paint anything. So I ordered the fenders, the rear valance, and I ordered black epoxy primer from Eastwood. And probably the next video is going to be me sanding down and spraying this deck lid. Now, I will be out of town for a week. I'll be in Kansas on a work trip, so I don't know when I'm going to get to that. But yeah, we're moving along. And then after that, it's going to be a lot of just getting the outside an epoxy primer. And who knows, I don't know what we're going to do after that. But a lot of good, exciting things coming down the pipeline. So to all of you who have been following me on this journey, thank you so much. To those of you that have joined, appreciate you tuning in. And yeah, we got some exciting things happening. So once again, thank you to all of you who tune in and give me advice and thumbs up, all that stuff. It's all appreciated. You guys are awesome. So until the next episode, guys, stay driven.